Good afternoon. I'm John Eads, and this is an NCC News Break. Ukraine has successfully taken several northeastern villages in Russia. Welcome to an NCC News Special Edition. I'm your host, John Eads. Midterm elections are on the horizon in the United States. What you may not know is that the ripple effects from the results of the election spread further than just our great nation's boundaries. So you might think that because the pumpkins are a little more expensive this year, it might deter people from wanting to come and pick a pumpkin. But apparently that hasn't been the case. Here we go. And Jimmy says that business is booming. The Supreme Court has its hands full this week, adding 9 new cases to its docket. 2 of these cases are dealing with the future of internet speech. So Onondaga County libraries only recently started to waive late fees, but here at the Jamesville DeWitt Community Library, they've implemented this policy for the past 9 months, and the feedback has been very positive. Thanks, Jim. All it took was 1 week for this trial to end and 1 day for the jury to deliberate and come to a decision that Kevin Ritchie must be convicted. Back in 2015, they had a $24 million settlement for a case that was in Kentucky. Now, the company has since asked for this case with Onondaga County and other ones across New York to be dismissed, and that's kind of what you see in these kind of things. They're always going to ask for the case to get dismissed initially, but the growing sentiment seems to be that the case will not be dismissed, so we'll continue to monitor the situation moving forward. Queen Elizabeth's coffin arrived inside St. Giles's Cathedral in Scotland earlier today. The Queen's 4 children walked behind the hearse carrying her coffin. The journey to the cathedral spanned about 1 mile with swarms of people in attendance. Svante Pääbo has been awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Pääbo is a Swedish-born scientist who has been spending years trying to extract DNA from a 40,000-year-old set of bones related to different genomes of extinct human groups. So this new gas tax bill will make it so that every time I go like this, the prices stay low, and the community is not upset about that at all. So I know you're very familiar with Latino countries, Latino politics. Can you give me an example of a Latino country that kind of has this sentiment, cares so much about the results of U.S. politics and U.S. elections? Indonesia established an independent team to investigate a stampede at a soccer game that killed 125 people. Mirik said more information can be found on his Facebook page. The city is working on getting an official fund going. Right now, there's just a couple of people within the Ithaca community that have made a website where you can donate. Onondaga County isn't the only county that has taken action against these large pharmaceutical companies. Suffolk, Broome, and Erie counties have all filed similar lawsuits with similar allegations, so we'll continue to monitor this situation going forward. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm John Eads, NCC News. If you want to take home pumpkins like these ones, it's going to cost you a little extra this year. Research from Statista shows that the average price of a pumpkin in New York has risen in recent years. Inflation is the biggest culprit for the heightened cost, but at one Central New York farm, there's other factors involved too.
Our input costs are fertilizer is almost double what it was last year. Fuel, just to run tractors and stuff, is a lot more. So those are the 2 biggies.
Our farm in Cazenovia has been in operation since 1985 and has built a reputation for being a family-friendly place. In light of this, management is working to battle the economic adversity to keep the prices low.
I've been a consumer, so I kind of see it from that point of view. And I want to have a good value for my customers.
The farm is charging 33 cents per pound, which is 2 cents up from last year and well below the Department of Agriculture's estimate of $1.38.
Yeah, I would make more if I charged even more, but I just don't, I don't want to get greedy.
So you might think that because the pumpkins are a little more expensive this year, it might deter people from wanting to come and pick a pumpkin, but apparently that hasn't been the case. Here we go. And Jimmy says that business is booming.
It's unheard of. We've had 6 weekend days. Or is it 7 now? 7 weekend days because of Indigenous Peoples Day. So we're 7 for 7. I don't know if I've ever had that.
Of course, farms can't function without its customers, and they don't seem to be deterred at all by the rising costs.
I enjoy Halloween, and we always have pumpkins. I always still carve a pumpkin, and no, it wouldn't bother me. Got to have them.
Our Farms is open for the next 2 weekends before it closes up shop after Halloween. I actually grabbed one of my own pumpkins to celebrate the fall festivities. It's for my girlfriend though, so I don't think I'll be carving this one. Reporter from the newsroom, I'm John Eads, NCC News. Doing this is going to be much less stressful for people in Onondaga County going forward. This is because the county's public libraries are no longer charging fines for overdue items. The hope is that this policy change will enhance the public's perception of libraries.
People often think of libraries as very transactional. You come in, you get a book, you bring it back late, we charge you for it. It's actually a lot more nuanced now. We have a lot more stuff going on. We have a lot more frontline engagement. And we're really trying to get back away from this kind of transactional, really, at its simplest form kind of concept of what our services are.
Now, the library system will lose a couple $1,000s in revenue without the consistent overdue fees, but Zabriskie says that this missing money has no importance in the grand scheme of things.
We're not supposed to be a profit-making institution. We're a not-for-profit. We're supposed to serve the public. So getting into dollars and cents that I'm pulling off the back of Kenesha, who's a 12-year-old, in Monday, we're not doing it right if that's where we're going.
So Onondaga County Libraries only recently started to waive late fees, but here at the Jamesville DeWitt Community Library, they've implemented this policy for the past 9 months, and the feedback has been very positive.
We have seen a lot of happiness on the part of patrons to have one less thing they need to worry about, whether the materials that they checked out with their kids are due on Monday or due on Thursday. They can simply bring them back when they need to and not have to worry about racking up any fines.
Along with the cutting of overdue fees moving forward, any outstanding fees that people might have at the 25 libraries comprising the Onondaga County Public Library System are also being waived. AuburnPub.com says that over 26,000 patrons will benefit from not having to pay about $283,000 in outstanding fines.
This kind of decision is just our way of saying we believe in you, to our patrons and to our users and to our community, and we hope that they'll come back to us and let us help them.
Fees for any lost or damaged items will still be charged. To find your local public library, head over to www.onlib.org. Reporting from Syracuse, I'm John Eads, NCC News.